a red button.
There isn't? Okay, that's probably why it's so hard to tell.
Nope, no red button, Tyler.
I can do that.
We are here, folks. This is Shot for Shot, the podcast. My name is Kenneth Patterson. This is your host for this evening, Tyler Broadway.
Hello. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Shot for Shot, the podcast. Like Ken just said, I am your host, Tyler Broadway. Let's give it up for our co-host, Kenneth Patterson.
Hey.
Ken, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, dude.
Good.
How about
Here.
yourself?
I kind of feel like I should. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel pretty good, you know.
Good.
Good.
You deserve to feel good.
Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
It's really nice for you to say, you know. That's a good nice thing for you to say to me, onto me.
Unto you.
On this lovely Sunday.
Unto you on this Sunday, I will say.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Wouldn't it be weird if we just started a church?
The Church of Shot for Shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to scam people like that. I don't want to promise them like a fake afterlife or anything, you know. I don't want to promise.
Dude, who's to say it's fake? Come on. You're already getting down there's nobody going to come to the church if you keep saying stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want people to come to the church. We're not starting a church. There's not going to be a link below for shotforshotthechurch.com.
Shotforshotthechurch.com.
Shot for Shot the Church. Hey, guys. Welcome to Shot for Shot the Church.
We are here for the Lord.
I guess for you guys that are listening at home and wondering, we're actually going to be doing a guestless episode tonight.
We are.
We're going to be turning things in a kind of a different direction. Like we'll still be doing this.
Yeah, still be doing this. We can't help it. It's more of a disability than anything.
It's more of a hindrance than
we can't help but do this.
But me and Ken have talked about it, and we're not going to focus so more on the guest as much. More that we're just going to focus more on like a broader topic.
Yeah, broader topics or more topics that are maybe more in tune to just like one thing, so that we can stay on topic during an episode, right?
Yeah. And I think like the big thing that we want to talk about, because like our mission statement for the show is we want to make humanity better through the power of drinking, through drunk conversations when the inhibition's down. But at least for me, I feel like a good way to tackle that is to really address like mental health issues and like the trauma that me and Ken have both been through separately in our own lives.
Mm-hmm. We have both been through a lot, and I think that everybody's been through a lot. We would like to identify with maybe our viewers through our stories, and maybe try to help people a little bit through this podcast.
But to also
and through these conversations, we're also still going to be interviewing guests and still doing things, but we're just going to take a different avenue sometimes.
Yeah,
which I think is okay.
Yeah, and make it less of like that's the focus. Like don't get me wrong. Like even when we do have a guest, we will focus on them, but we'll also get their opinion on like these issues as well that we want to tackle.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
If they feel so inclined to open up, I'm hoping to do things a little different to where I am more open and I am opening up, and that maybe that'll make it more comfortable for someone else to come up here and do the same.
Yeah, it's hard to open up, especially in this format, you know. People are going to see it. You know that you're putting yourself out there. And so to tell some of the stories that maybe that we want from people or we want to share with people from our lives is hard, I think. I think it's a hard thing to do in a private setting, let alone in a public setting.
In a public recorded setting that you will have to listen back to.
Inevitably have to listen back to more than once.
And just ask, oh, man, did I really open up that much? Oh, fuck. That's...
But I think that we're really just trying to provide something that we feel like the listeners will really identify with, and it'll really help us maybe work through some of our past traumas and some of our things, and maybe help other people on stage do that, because that's kind of what we see. Comedians do this all the time. Comedy is a big thing in our world because we are around some comedians, and they are all really just washing through trauma up here. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about their dads. They're talking about ex-girlfriends. They're talking about, bad mothers and their siblings. And, it's really, those are big topics, all your trauma and all this stuff that you have to go through. And,
if I can interject just quickly, like, you're 100% right with, like, it is just them, like, processing their trauma and, like, coping with it, because comedy and humor is a, like, big coping mechanism, and, like, it's almost guaranteed that you'll ask any comedian about their mental health and they'll laugh or make some deprecating joke about it.
Oh, for sure.
And I also think that's found in just, like, a lot of creative pursuits as well, because I think filmmakers are just the same. I think actors are just the same. Painters, any visual artist, video game streamer. So I think providing a safe space to talk about these things without repercussions or without any sort of, like, judgment.
No,
I think,
no
like, and
ever.
don't get me wrong, we'll make jokes about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll get made fun of. Maybe
you get made fun. Well, that's the thing with, like, making fun of someone is that I think I know it can be used to put someone down, like you're making fun of someone, you're ragging on them for their shoes and stuff, but really you're just making fun of the absurdness of what the situation is.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially
if it's your friend.
Yeah, if it's a close friend,
you shouldn't make fun of anybody that's not your friend.
No, no, not at all. I mean, unless they're a shitty person. But what dictates that?
Yeah, I don't. Well, some things.
I think that's something that we can also talk about on the show as well, as, like, morality.
Yeah, morality. Also, a life path. Where you're at, where you're going, where you've been.
Yeah, like what defines a person's character?
Caricature.
Caricature. Yeah. What defines a person's caricature? Yeah, and just, like, what is morally good to some and what's morally good to bad, and, like, how much context is needed in a situation. Like, you can see two people fighting and condone that as two people fighting, but you have no idea what the situation is unless you look into it or are there.
Yeah, that's the truth. You don't know.
You really don't. You just really don't know. And I know Ken has decided, like, he thinks it'll be best for him not to drink on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I really don't drink that much in my regular life, so to drink on the show is kind of a hindrance because we have to produce this show. We have to do a lot of things, set up, a breakdown. It's really only me and Tyler doing this thing, so it's probably best that I don't drink, me personally, which is a personal decision I make. I think that it's okay to have a drink every once in a while as long as it's within reason. I just don't think I'm going to on the show.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We never, had to pressure that for you. Like, you have to drink?
No pressure. No. I do enjoy having a drink every once in a while, but not while working.
Right.
And this is kind of like work for me.
And I mean, it is.
For now, until we get people to do it, until we get somebody paying for us and people to do it. So look out.
Look at the number below. You can see where you can
call
us and fill in an application. I think it's good to keep in spirit with the show, and I think it does lower my inhibition to open up more if I drink, and maybe that's just me being an alcoholic and, like, trying to find an excuse to a drink. I don't think so, because I don't drink a whole lot either.
No.
but I do enjoy it, and I think I should be able to do it if I enjoy it
Yeah, absolutely.
in moderation.
For sure.
And like, I think this is something we kind of talked about, but like the show itself being like going through this change in the sense of like it was heavy drinking and it was like going through a bottle.
Well, the first season, man,
Yeah,
you barely survived. I think that you were doing on-stage shows and you were doing the in-studio shows there for about 6 or 7 months, pretty heavy. And man, you had to have suffered from that mentally. I can see it in your eyes that you suffered mentally.
I mean, I did end up going to therapy.
Very true, very true. I never made that correlation, but that is so true.
I mean, that's not like the sole reason, but I think it was probably a factor in like my mental state to.
Oh, it's hard to depress your system like that with alcohol over and over. Alcohol addiction is super hard to overcome once you get into it, you know.
And it's an easy addiction to have because it is legal.
And it's socially acceptable.
And it's very socially, which I'm not saying like that is a bad thing, but I think it should, you know, we shouldn't advertise it the way that we do.
Yeah, probably.
Where it's just like, oh, you're the coolest fucking guy if you drink.
Well, you switched that up after the first season. We did the first season. If you remember, at the end of the first season, you literally get arrested and go to rehab.
Die in prison.
Did you die in prison?
That's what. That's what we put at the end. Was I died in prison?
Well, how are you even here?
I mean, because
really
it's
think
called
that through
kayfabe, Ken.
Oh, what's that?
It's a big term used in wrestling to it's the imagination that you treat as real.
Like when the Undertaker got put in that casket.
Kayfabe.
Yeah, I get it.
Kayfabe. Definitely kayfabe, Ken.
Who do you think the first wrestler was that did that?
To do kayfabe?
Yeah.
Probably back in like the Carney days, because that's what it kind of stems to, where it's like, because it is like at the end of the day scamming people in a sense. That's what it was like this freakishly big man is going to take on this freakishly big man, and like, you know, people throw their bets on it.
Yeah.
And that's why they call them marks, because they literally are the mark that has the money that you're scamming
on. Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to grifting, but like it is for like it is for money, but it's like entertainment is what they're providing.
Yeah, for sure.
In a believable, imaginary kayfabe world, basically. And if you think about it, a lot of stuff like plays that way. Think of like LARPing. That's kayfabe, like with fantasy and stuff brought to life.
Yeah.
Politics could even be considered a kayfabe because while it does seem like these are two opposing parties, they really aren't.
Not.
Like at the end of the day, they're both like shaking hands and yelling at each other,
working together.
So,
yeah, I get it.
That's why everything's wrestling.
I get that. Everything's wrestling. Is this like a wrestling fan's theory? It's like a underground theory of everything. Wrestling's everything.
I don't know if it's an underground theory, but
I think it's a prominent. I think it's.
I mean, I know someone wrote like a New York Times article about like everything being wrestling. So like, I don't know if that comes from the New York Times wrestling fans.
Yeah. But wrestling was a really big thing.
It was.
It still is a big thing by all rights and reason.
Well, it's just like anything that's on television is like still a big thing, but it's like really because like TV isn't the only outsource of visual entertainment besides the movies or like a movie theater.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's as important because like I think, and it's something we talked about on like a previous episode. I don't know, I was listening to him, but like and I know you've brought it up a lot of like about being in the infancy of like this day and age where it's like the consumer is like the content creator as
Yeah.
well. It's not up to just
Yeah, it's
corporations.
It's not up to NBC, ABC, and Turner Classic Movies anymore. You know, it's not up to these big corporations that Fox that control the television since it began,
Yeah.
and you know, even PBS, and you know that there was the only things that they controlled everything that you saw, and within our lifetime, we're able to control what you see. And I think that's pretty fucking crazy.
It's really crazy that we are in the hands to choose what we want to watch and when we want to watch it and access any information anytime we want it.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely unreal, and
Makes us as smart as anybody that went to college pre-1990.
but I just feel like we squander it
No,
a little.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
How are we supposed to know what to do with it? It's so new. You can't squander something that you have that's not even sought to fruition yet.
I don't know about that, Ken, because, I mean, you can start to grow a plant and still destroy it. You could still squander. You could buy a loaf of bread and then let it go moldy. You squander the bread by not
Yeah, but I don't think we're letting the internet and information go moldy. I think that it's just the bell curve that, you know, everybody can say anything, so they do. And so until we self-regulate what that anything that people are saying is, and where that, and there becomes checks and balances, which there is, you know, when people say things that aren't very right on the internet, they usually get blasted, and, you know, it all comes around to some kind of equality, some like leveling point, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's where I think like the big fear of like cancel culture does come from, is that like this is the first time that we can immediately interact with the person who's creating whatever, whether it be a joke or a short or an animation or a full-length movie.
Or a flag.
Or a flag or anything, and tell them that you're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, if I don't know. I'm not trying to like be one of those people that's like, oh, cancel culture's ruining anything, and I don't think cancel culture is a real thing. I think it's
just the same as it always was. You can just tell people about it.
I think it's accountability.
Yeah.
Kind of like
catching up with everybody.
Yeah, and we're having like the first time to be able to call people out and make them have that accountability.
I love checks and balances and accountability. I think accountability is really the problem solver with a lot of issues. So I like it.
Yeah. Well, because you're taking responsibility for it. You're owning up to what you did, and you're admitting that what you did is wrong, and you're willing to pay the consequences for that.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, and that's ultimately like where we're at with our show, is that with this part of the show. Now, what we have plans for doing a lot of things in other channels and other avenues. We want to provide more content that's some silly and some wacky and crazy, but we want this avenue to be focused on real change and ourselves. You know, that it's not the fake tides of change. You know, when I first met Tyler this second time in our life, you know, I've known you for years when we were a little younger, and then, you know, and not very well even, but just in passing and through other friends, we definitely had a rapport, right? And then after I got in contact with you, and we started this second journey in our life, change is a big thing all the time, and the older we get, the more rapid it washes in, you know? And so I think that going with the theme of this show as being the real thing, that what it is, you know, I think the tides of change have hit us, and it's just time to do so. You know, it's time to follow suit. We want to do $50 for Hyucks, and we want to provide it as an internet show where people can vote at home, and we have big plans to make that thing incredible internet
And, yeah,
phenomenon.
just to back up just a little bit, I do apologize for interrupting, but
Oh, go for it.
just to clarify for people who don't know at home what $50 for Hyucks is, we have started a comedy competition here at the Bird in the Book in Maryville, Tennessee.
It's a bar and restaurant. They have just beer right now. They're possibly getting their liquor license this year, but it's the amazing chef Beth. Is that her name?
Ours known her as Kitty.
Cat. Yeah. Beth was Beth was the guest that we were supposed to have tonight.
Yeah.
Kat is an amazing chef, and she runs the kitchen down here, and they have an incredible menu. If you can catch them making food, I would highly suggest that. So we have just a great venue down here for this show. For $50 for Hyucks, it's the experimental comedy competition where we have 12 people.
12 either comedians or people who think they are funny. They
really anybody.
Anybody
can sign up as long as it's not the sign-up sheet's not full.
Yeah, and we go through 3 rounds. So 2 comedians go head-to-head in a not roasting battle.
Yeah,
there's a lot of confusion.
It's not a roast. I mean, I know that you look at us and you're like, these guys are roasting each other all the time, but this isn't a roast competition. It's very much a punch up. We want people to have fun. Everybody wins a prize. There's literally no losers. It's almost as if these 12 people have signed up for a open mic where they just get stuff, you know?
Yeah.
We have sponsorship through Tokers Incorporated, a local head shop, that will be giving a wellness package of different items. And we also have the Bird in the Book gives the $50 prize for that. And then we match that $50 prize for the second and third people to have $25.
Yeah. So that way everyone that enters does leave home with something.
Yeah, no losers. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to do as far as just giving people an incentive to come out and do the show for one, actually be on it, and people love deciding things and love I know we don't vote in our regular fucking government systems usually, which we should.
No, we do, Tyler.
But we don't. Young people don't.
You were just saying young people as a whole. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because, the only people that have time to vote are fucking boomers.
Yeah, I know. Not doing anything. They're living off of their pension.
So,
God.
And I don't mean to sound like ageist, whatever. Old people can be fine. Everyone can be fine. But yeah, we'll be releasing those soon as well.
Yeah, as soon as we figure out how we can. We want to, we also want to just, get people in the seats as well. We want people to be able to vote from home. We want you to come down and have a good time. Mm-hmm. It's kind of I love the idea that it's kind of like trivia. Where you have to be, the audience has to be engaged.
Yeah, they have to pay attention, focus, because it's up to them.
It is up to the audience. We give you a SKU so that you can scan in your votes.
Yeah, the little
from your phone, a little QR code.
QR code, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amanda Kroll does that for us. You also, when you come and you vote, you get entered in to win a prize. So we also give prizes out to the audience.
Yes, that's right. Amanda does the raffle for when you sign
I love that she does that.
And there's also a link. And for those of you again who have tuned in or haven't tuned in, Amanda Kroll has done an episode of Shot for Shot with us. You should check it out. It's
pretty funny.
I was listening to it the other day, and I was actually really impressed with it because I think it was achieving what we wanted to.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this and a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was good. It was really great.
Yeah, I like that. Well, it was our second time of doing it, so we had a little practice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was our second time. We lost the fucking first one. There is only 2 of us doing this. So
episode.
We have the video, but we don't have the audio for whatever reason.
Maybe we could voice over it one day.
Yeah, maybe one day we can.
Hello, I'm Tyler.
Yeah, I'll let you voice me. I'll voice the guest, and the guest can voice you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Kenneth Patterson.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We could have a scene clip where it's like us doing the voiceovers and then the voiceover.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to show us in the studio like cracking up the outtakes.
No, yeah. I think we're doing good. I think that we are going in the right direction with this thing. We're not afraid to grow and change and learn, and we're still going to have some in-studio stuff that's going to be crazy and bonkers, just like we have always had, but we're going to provide a little balance, I think, is ultimately what we're trying to say. A little balance to our show, a little balance to our lives, and we're going to show how balance can improve you and how it's going to improve us.
Sorry. Yeah. It's gonna be a good balance. Yeah, because it's not the mood's not gonna change. We're still gonna like fuck around. Like the people that we talk to, like it's a lot of shooting the shit. Like I think that's one of the best human interactions you can have is shooting the shit. You're not talking about a major issue. You're not talking about the fucking world ending. You're talking about just randomness and randomness.
Or your life improving.
Yeah.
Or the struggle that you had to go through to make your life improve.
Yeah.
Or the struggle that you're going through now, or that you feel like you can overcome, or, these things that we all go through. I think that we're going to try to hit on topics that identify with those things, and really try to, with these personal sessions, with these like things that just me and Tyler are doing, I think that we're going to try to hit more on stuff like that. And then we're going to segregate those things with the guest as the silly things. And then we're going to do $50 for Hyucks, which will be an on-stage show. Everybody's going to love that. Hopefully we can get it make it to where you can vote at home and we can live stream it. That would be the ultimate thing. I think that'd be so freaking awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's going to be like this huge divide between like, I think the guest episodes can get just as in depth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think there's going to be a big divide either.
Yeah. Because I mean, we'll be silly here.
Yeah. There.
Don't worry, the silly ain't going nowhere. You don't have to worry about the silly leaving. But yeah, I think a good thing to maybe do to because I'm sure we'll talk about it for a little bit as far as like a brief overview, and we'll get more in depth with the episodes as they progress. Kind of just touching basis on like what we have been through, Ken, and what you think. Do you want to do that?
No, not right now. I mean, I would want to on a systematic basis. Yeah, I think that we share our story as it has to do with the topics that we're talking about, and I think that we go from there. And we try to find a good groove that we can provide information to help people and provide information to help ourselves, and hopefully talk to some guests that are going to be super entertaining for us and people to know and good friends to have. It's all about connection. I think it's all about growth and connection. And if we can keep growing and we can keep connecting with people, that's really the biggest goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good goal.
Even if negative or positive growth is growth, in a lot of senses.
Well, I mean, I guess it'd be good to give kind of just like, I mean, I'll do it first, no problem. Just kind of like where our trauma comes from.
Yeah, well, I think that mainly, I know in both of our cases, it's drug addiction and family being strived with drug addiction and a lot of their general things, abandonment from people that you love, these things that happen when you're around people that are drug addicted for so long, and the people that are supposed to take care of you and protect you. You're not being protected by those people because they can't even protect themselves. And so I think that that's basically, I mean, in a nutshell, that's where a lot of my stuff comes from, is the family that I had raised me, essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. It did play out a little different, just in the sense of like it was plagued with drug addiction, because both of my parents were drug addicts. Well, and kind of like it seemed like for the first 10 years, like before my mom passed away, the first like 8 years. Let me say that the first 8 years, were pretty good. I'd say pretty great in the sense of like it did feel like a normal family kind of like, and I'm not saying that like the heteronormative family is a normal family, but it was like the father, mother, my brother, animals, you know.
Yeah, family.
So a family, yeah. And then that slowly like deteriorated with my dad going to prison for selling pot.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah. And he was like
Went to prison for selling. Let me just repeat that. Went to prison for selling pot. Just crazy.
I mean, he was pushing a lot of it.
Doesn't matter.
I know. I'm not saying that like, well, it was a lot of weed, kid. I'm not saying he deserved it. I'm just kind of saying like it was a large amount, and like it sucks. I get it. It just was because he kind of refused to give up any names. He refused not to what is called snitching. We all know what snitching is. I don't know why I said it like it's for all you honkies out there, snitching. So yeah, and that's he has like the only tattoo he has is like on his arm that says like death before dishonor. So like that's just like
he really had to stick to those guns.
He really stuck to those guns, and like that is inspiring to me.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
But like once with him going to jail, it just kind of went downhill because my mom's Xanax addiction
Xanax is bad.
increased, and our sister, my half sister, had moved in with us with her boyfriend, and they were both addicted to crack. I can remember vividly going to a crack deal, but like not knowing at that age what a crack deal was.
Yeah, for sure.
Just know I'm at a shady part of town. It's nighttime. They're getting something.
Everywhere. It just smells like burnt plastic everywhere.
Everywhere it just smells like burnt plastic. Burnt Plastic Boulevard. But she ended up running up my mom's checking account.
That's when you could write bad checks and stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The early
Can't
like
do that.
2000s,
Can't do that
late
no
90s.
more.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. But like, yeah, she
really
would
can't
write
run
a
up checks.
bunch. Like, just ran that motherfucker up, and they had to refinance the house.
God, because of the bad checks, man.
All this while my dad's in prison, and then my mom overdoses. And it was a very just weird feeling because it was the first time that I had felt truly alone because no one really came. No family member really came to help us except for one who was an aunt of ours, and it's just crazy that like you think that like family is always supposed to be there for each other, but it's not always dictated by like who is related, but who is actually there to help.
Well, unfortunately, you don't choose your family, so in really hard times, they generally aren't there. You know, and I think that's a big realization that everybody ends up having at some point in their life. I feel like that I had it a little earlier than that, even though my parents are still alive. I've felt very alone in this life when it comes to that. And, you know, I realized at a young age it was just me. You know, if anybody was going to take care of me, it was going to be me. And so I definitely identify with that for sure. It's a big pill to swallow.
It is such a big pill to swallow at such a young age. I feel.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I'm sure I'm sure you probably by the time you were 10 as well, like that was like your reality
Oh yeah.
as well. And it's just weird, like how much psychological damage a parent can do to you, even now when you're grown up.
Yeah, they have the power to fuck you up for a long time. In both regards, your mother and your father.
They got a lot of fucking.
It's really the biggest problem with anybody, how you were natured or nurtured, and what happened to you at an early age. Those developmental years are really, really, really stick with you, through everything.
And especially when you're a kid, you just you look up to these people as like a guiding source of I guess a role model is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You really look up to them.
Well,
as
you don't know.
model.
You're told to.
Mm-hmm.
You're told that your parents are these people that protect you, and your parents are these. You're told by everybody. You go to school and they say, "Well, where's your parent? What are they doing? Who's that?" You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're told. That's your parents or that's the end all be all. And so you really expect that to be true, and when you find out it's not, it's hard. It's a hard thing.
Well, it's just and then it's not it all just depends on what your parent does. But there's nothing wrong with looking up to them.
No.
But I think we should.
I look up to my parents in a lot of ways, even though I see where they were wrong in a lot of ways. But it goes both ways. Even if you have bad parents, even if you have good parents, it's all in relativity. Bad people, good people do bad things all the time.
And bad people do good things all the time.
100%. Yeah.
I think if we took time to teach kids about your parents are human.
Yeah. Well, I have a kid, and I've always tried to show him that I'm human. Mm-hmm. I talk to him like a regular human being. He treats me like I'm a regular human being, and we kind of meet in the middle,
Which is good. I mean, you have a fucking awesome kid. I mean, yeah. I love your kid. He's so nice. He is very well spoken. He has manners.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good one.
And I just think and I know it's hard. It's easy for me to say this because I've never had a kid. But it just seems like I know it's hard, but there needs to be a better approach besides just yelling at them. And I know it's hard to take a better approach because raising a kid is so stressful.
Yeah.
It's hard not to
lose
your
can't hit it. You can't hit him anymore.
You don't need to.
No, I've never hit my kid, but I'm just saying you can those tides have changed. Discipline isn't just about hitting your kid or forcing them to do anything. Mm-hmm. The only time I ever yell at my kid is to literally get it through his damn head that he needs to do something. It's like you raise your voice because you've already said it 5 times, and that's the next level. It's like, I'm going to tell you to clean your room, or I'm going to ask you to clean your room, maybe 2 or 3 times. Hey, can you get your room cleaned up today before I come home, maybe, or whatever. And then if he doesn't, I'll be like, hey man, why don't you get that room clean? If he doesn't do it again, maybe it might be getting more intense then, Mm-hmm. But I don't think that yelling to get a point across has ever worked.
Right.
It just makes a kid resentful to you.
Yeah. Because and it just kind of boils back to how we want to be treated. No one responds well to yelling, and if you do, then maybe you're a fucking masochist. I don't know. If you like to be degraded and yelled at, there's nothing wrong with that. But most people in a non-sexual situation don't like to be yelled at.
Right.
They just don't. I mean, I know I don't.
No, me neither.
I have a tendency to shut down.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
when being talked down to like that.
Same.
What time were we at, Ken?
40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
I think it's a good
I think we're good. I think we're good either way, Tyler. I think that we we really want to just show that we're here. We're just being us, and we're going to be here in a couple of different avenues, no matter what. So,
yeah. Well, go ahead and sign us off, Ken. Let's go ahead and just play it out.
Okay. Hey, guys. This has been a great podcast, Tyler.
Where's the music?
It's in the headphones.
Oh.
It's just not out. I promise it's there.
Okay.
It's been a really good show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see, how we progress from here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that as well.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, I'm Tyler Broadway.
I'm Kenneth Patterson.
Signing off from the Shot for Shot universe.
Adieu.
Cheers.